welcome back to Revenge of the Show. If it's your first time here, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like and subscribe. I've been busy doing some other stuff with some paintings. Just did this tiger tank for somebody. If you want, you could look at my other channel. I do a full video of the painting that I did, and you can check it out. Anyway, otherwise, what's going on with the rest of the channel? Money's really tight right now. I haven't been able to do Model Kit Monday because I haven't been able to buy anything lately. Like I said, money's tight, but I'm gonna still continue doing that eventually. And let's go right into what I saw, what I think you might be interested in. Should you go see it on a big screen? Licorice Pizza. It's a Paul Anderson movie. You might know Boogie Nights, which I love. Then there's Magnolias, that is almost a great movie. It is a really good movie. It's almost great. Get into that some other time. So it's a long movie. It's an hour, well, it's 133 minutes long. It's a long movie. And if you saw Magnolias, you know what I mean by that. It's like at one point of Magnolias, spoiler alert, old man die already. But this movie's shot 35 millimeter film. I didn't see it in a film format. I saw it in a digital format. So, but it is shot with 35 millimeter film, and Anderson is pretty much the cinematographer on this film. It stars Ham, put it over there. You know, I'm bad at names. It's her first movie. She was in a band with that same name, I guess, and they did a Saturday Night Live episode anyway. So she's really good in it. You know, they really focus, his camera work really focuses on close-ups of people, and you see every little flaw, every little pimple, everything. It doesn't hide anything, which I think is very interesting. It's got a great 70s feel to it. I mean, just seeing all the cars in the movie is really neat. I mean, a lot of work went into this film. This cinematography is pretty impressive. So it is, in my opinion, worth seeing it on a film or at a movie theater. It is a little bit long. You don't get that whole interaction where, you know, what is an intersection where everybody intersects each other like you saw in Magnolias, and also you see it in Boogie Nights. A little tiny bit of it in There Will Be Blood. But, you know, it's definitely a pretty cool movie, and there is an actor in this movie, and it's Cooper Hoffman. Who's his father, you may ask? Yes, it is that same Hoffman. And, you know, he does a really good job in this film. It's got a good story. The Anderson movies, sometimes they get caught up with like some other characters, these secondary characters that kind of take up a little bit, you know, it's like, you know, I think maybe it could be edited out, but what do I know? It's shot with a Panavision Panaflex and 35 millimeter film, Panavision Millennium XL2 camera. It's an XL2 camera and 35 millimeter film. Anyway, and the music throughout the movie, along with the stuff they just throw in there, like some Bowie and stuff. But Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead does the soundtrack to this movie. So that's number one, Licorice Pizza. Out of 5 stars, I give it 3. So now we're gonna go into Nightmare Alley. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro. You know, I said that name wrong. You know who he is. You know The Shape of Water, which I thought was The Shape of Shit. I just didn't buy it. Pan's Labyrinth. I mean, his movies are beautiful. You know, he's done a lot of different things. You know, he's Mimic, Hellraiser. He's done, I think, a Blade movie. The cat wants to be in a Blade movie, but she can't be in a Blade movie. So this movie cost like, man, it cost $60 million and it's made $9.4 million. So it's got a long ways to go. Licorice Pizza hasn't done all that great either, but it didn't cost as much. I think it cost $40 million. Its movie stars Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Tony Collodi, Her names are over here. Richard Jenkins, who, you know, is a standout performance in this movie. You know him from like 6 Feet Under. He's a father that died. He's been in a million things. You've seen him in so many things. This movie, you don't even recognize him, and he is so freaking good. He is, without a doubt, the standout performance of this movie. Now, Ron Perlman's in this movie a little bit, you know, and Ron Perlman's been in like almost every one of his movies. William Dafoe's in it. He's great. The acting's great. The cinematography is great. It's shot with Alexa 65. It's great. It's long. It's a long movie. It's a great Twilight Zone episode. If you know what I mean. It's a great Twilight Zone. Here's a spoiler alert. I'm putting this right here, right now. Anybody that's seen this movie, now, the geek that's in the movie, you know right off the bat that there's going to be some kind of runaround back to that, to where it's going to get related to him. And you kind of see it coming that he might end up being the geek. And he ended up being a geek. So it's classic Twilight Zone type of thing. Also, you know, the other problem I had with this movie is, and I don't, you know, if some of the people in this carnival are nice people, then why do they keep people like that in a cage? Anyway, end of spoiler alert. Good movie to see at home. There is excellent cinematography in it, but it's kind of, I would wait. I'd give it 2.5 stars for that movie. Now we're going to get into The Matrix. Okay, Matrix. Resurrection. Wow. It's only done by one of the Wachowskis, Lana Wachowski. It cost 190 million, probably around there. That's what they're saying, estimated. It's made 148 million, so it's got a ways to make its money back. Keanu Reeves is back in it, Carrie-Anne Moss is back in it, but that's just about all the players that are really in it that were in it before. You don't get Hugo. You know, you get a guy who says the words Mr. Anderson, but you don't get Mr. Anderson. I mean, nobody said Mr. Anderson like Hugo did. I mean, that guy was great. It's a big missing thing. There's Samuel L. Jackson's missing from it, and he's in it in a different way, but it's not him. It's interesting at first, and then it gets really old. Stuff gets really old in it. The beginning credits, you get excited. It's like, oh, this might be pretty cool. It's like, stop making these movies. I loved the first one. Did not like the second one. Thought a couple parts in the third one were kind of interesting. But yeah, for the love of God, stop making these movies. And they leave it to where it will probably, yeah, you know, the friend of mine that I went with to the movie, he was kind of drunk when he saw this movie, but anyway, he liked it. But at one point in the movie, I think the line is, we got to talk about this. And I said to my friend, I'm like, oh great, we need more talking. But it's like, talking, no more explaining. You can explain, let's go this way, let's go that way. Just like that. She's gonna go that way, in a minute she's gonna go that way, and the movie's gonna go that way. It's overblown, it takes itself way too serious. I wish them all the luck in the world of stopping, for the love of God, this thing. Because the last one, you thought, okay, that's it, it's over, it's done, you know? And no, it's not. The cinematographers, the John Toll, and this guy, I mean, this guy's credits, I mean, Braveheart, Tropic Thunder, A Thin Red Line, Almost Famous. His list is gigantic, but there's nothing that outstanding in it. I mean, the stunts and everything, it's like, I've seen that before. Nothing special. I mean, everybody's doing it now. Thanks to the first Matrix, everybody's doing that kind of thing. If you know what I mean. They jump really, really far. They do all kinds of crazy shit, and it's kind of shit. So, out of 5 stars, I give it 2 stars. Don't bother going to see it in a movie theater. Get into it. Spider-Man. No Way Home. you don't need me to tell you. No matter what I tell you, you're going to see this movie. If I said it was the biggest piece of shit in the world, people are going to go see it. So my opinion, everything I'm saying here, it's just my opinion, you know. But it's like, I just thought the ending was a little bit like, well, you need to explain that more. And it doesn't really work. This movie cost like $200 million. It's already almost close to $2 billion that it's made, so it's still doing well. It's slowing down a little bit. I've not met one person that did not like or love this movie. The director, John Watts, he's got an interesting path. He started out doing music videos. He was doing like Death Cab for Cutie video, TV on the radio, Fat Boy Slim. So it's an interesting career that, you know, came from doing music videos to doing one of the biggest movies of all time. It's second place, I think, right now. It was shot with an Arri Alexa LF, very complicated, expensive new camera. I think it's 6K. You used Zeiss lenses and stuff. Most of the other movies that I talked about, they used Panavision lenses, but this movie they use Zeiss lenses for anybody that cares out there, and you might not. So anyway, out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5, just because moments of the movie that I love, and there's moments of the movie where it's like I just wish, you know, they tried to tie the story a little bit better together. And you know, a couple of these movies is William Dafoe was in a couple of these movies that I talked about. William Dafoe, when you get him laughing in the Spider-Man movie and any movie, William Dafoe, he's great. You love seeing him in any movie. Lighthouse, it's really weird. But anyway, that's my reviews. I hope you like and subscribe. Spider-Man, you got to see it on a big screen, no matter what, big screen. And most of you have seen it already, so it doesn't matter what I say. But those other ones, maybe you haven't, you know. Licorice Pizza, see it. Don't bother, wait, see them on TV, rent them, whatever. You don't need a big screen. Bye-bye. Like and subscribe.